Day 14 of the art journal is taken from a photo or a screenshot from a video that I took downtown Ocala when Rob and I were walking around. Let me show you that right now. That's very nice, Rob. Yes. Good eye again. All right, so there was our little moment right there, and then here's the screenshot I took of that. Okay, and now back to page 14. So you know I didn't do exactly as it shows in the painting. I didn't put a lamppost there. I just felt like it would just separate the picture too much. And as far as a painting, there's two reasons to do a journal. One is to just to kind of document what you did that day, and the other one is to create a sketch that you might use for a larger painting maybe. So for example, I don't know, it's hard to determine right now if I would ever use that for a larger one, but some of these other ones I might. You never know, that could be one, but some of these previous days. So I'm only up to day 14. I've only got 2 weeks in here. So some of these I like a lot as reference or sketches that would become later on to be full paintings. Yeah, I like some of them, but you're not going to like all of them. That's the thing. And with this one, I'm going to give it an 80% like. I don't dislike it a lot. It's not a 100%er, and it's not a 40%er. So I give it an 80. And you never know, with tweaking it or maybe re-looking at the reference photo later on, I would grab something out of it that I like better. But of course, what attracted me to it was the bicycle and the man sitting on the bench. I think that's the part that got to me the most. That's the part that attracted Robin to it. Robin pointed it out to me before I even saw that guy. Well, I saw him. I just didn't think of it in terms of a painting. But anyway, yesterday I didn't get out and videotape, which I'm trying to do every day, and then using a scene or shot from that video in order to create the next day's entry into the journal. So I'm really enjoying doing the journal. So 14 days so far. That's 2 weeks worth, right? 2 weeks. And the new year starts, let's see, today's Saturday. The new year starts on Wednesday. So who knows? Who knows what's going to be on these blank pages, all these blank pages that have yet to be painted on. And then we go. And we go. I don't know why I said those words. But and we go. Yes, we go now to the next part of the video where I show you how I painted that. And I'll keep it in real time. Just forgive the coughing and the crackly voice. But anyway, thank you for being there. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing. And enjoy your day. Enjoy painting and share your painting. I love watching what you guys do too. Go to the Poppa Paints the Poppa Paints Facebook group, and that's where you can show your stuff. You can talk about your stuff. You can post videos of yourself doing a painting, or you can put a link to your own channel if you have one. I'm not going to stop that. I guess there's been a few things that I said no to. Mostly because they were like trying to sell snake oil. But as long as you're not trying to sell snake oil, we're good. We're good. Robin and I, what do you call it? We monitor it. We administrate. We're the administrators. All right. Let me show you how I did day 14 on the journal. Okay. It's day 14. And it's December 28th, the last Saturday of 2024. And day 14 of my journal. And I'm going to start with a rough painting of a light colored sky. That's going to be the backdrop for everything else pretty much. And then I'll do a little rough green down here for a little area where the sidewalk and the grassy area of this downtown park come together. Just kind of rough that in there. Yeah, I'm just using old gouache and reactivating it with water, of course. Okay, that looks like it's a good enough angle there. And then we'll just get some of this sky in there now. This is going to be a lot of backdrop stuff, and then we'll have the foreground guy with the focal point of the picture is the person sitting on the bench with a bicycle leaning up against it. So as soon as that dries, which should be pretty quick, but until then, let me get some of this Paints gray maybe and put some of that over here. Let's see, I'll put some, almost like some shadows here going across. Keeping it very light so that I can add dark on top of it later. Very, very light like that. Alright. Now for that building in the background. I gotta wait for that to dry, and it's almost dry already. So I think what I want to use for the background is like a blue-gray. And I have a thought on how to do that. Just take one of these brushes here. Just take some of that blue, mix it with some of that Paints gray. Let's see if we can create the look of a little bit of a building here. I don't want it to be too dark. Just kind of make it really light now. So I'm using gouache like watercolor for sure right now. Yeah, that's the whole idea, is just to water it down and get these, make it look like a building is up there somewhere, and then a shorter building right here. So all I'm really trying to do is just to create the illusion of a building back there. There we go. Sort of have that in there. We can smudge it all down. There we go. Now that's got to dry in order before I can do anything else. Everything in this particular picture has to be approached, I think, in the way I'm visualizing it, has to be approached like a watercolor. This shadow right here can be darker. And then over here, so this is really not watercolor paper, so it's drying like really fast. Plus I'm not putting much on it. But I thought I would put a little bit of shadows over here there's a tree on the left side here that I'm going to put in later on. I hope. I hope it looks like it's something that needs to be there. Okay, so how you doing? My son is right now in New York City. He's visiting, and he's with his wife and his son, my grandson, the one who calls me Papa. Yep, and kind of visiting my old stomping grounds. I've been there with my son many times. I've shown him where his daddy grew up, you know, that kind of thing. It's always fun. There's a sense of pride or something, I don't know. It's just something I enjoyed doing when he was younger, and so that kind of makes me smile to know that he's doing it with his son. Okay, is that paper dry yet? I don't think it's dry yet. Okay, let me try something, see if it is dry. Oh, it's okay. It's not too wet. I put that right there. It is wet. I gotta wait. I'm gonna have to wait. All right. You know what I'll do? I'll turn off the camera, and I'll be right back. All right. Let's try it again. Just get this little bit of an arch here. I want it to be less. Yeah, that's much better. It was bleeding too much before. Okay, so that's just a little area right there across the park. And those openings. And then some awnings, looks like. Not sure what's over there. Little things. They've got to be all kind of washed out. Everything over there has to be washed out. Just darken that a little bit. And it's okay to make it blue because I want it to be cool. Yeah. Very much the watercolor technique right now. Just to create this look of a background building. that dries, which it shouldn't take that long, we can start adding in those trees. And this is where probably the gouache will come in handy, because I can paint over it a lot. Just add a little bit more green here. Okay, now let's get some of that dark. It's still wet, so we gotta let that dry a little bit. And over here too. Just gonna allow this almost like a dry brush right now to create some of this darker tones in the trees. And like I say, I'm going to use the gouache to do light on dark. It's going to be helpful. This is all gouache, but I mean I'm going to use gouache from the tube. I think gouache from the tube works really well when you're doing light on dark. Reactivated gouache works too, but I think it works better when it's straight from the tube. So here's some Payne's Gray, straight from the tube. I'll put that on my palette here. And I don't know how much I'm going to use of that, but I'll have it handy in case I need it. What I really want is some yellow and some green, or some light blue. And of course some white. So some white straight from the tube. I'll put that right there. straight from the tube is going to be real handy. I'll put that right there. A little bit of green that can mix with the yellow to kind of bring out some of those trees. Speaking of which, let me put in some of the trees. I think it's going to help me to have some of the trees in there already. So let's start here with this tree right here. There we go. A bit of that over here. Some of these trees here, over here. I saw that. Also, over here, there's a little bit of a hint of a tree on this side of this painting. There we go, just something to act like a little edge there. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with that, but it kind of defines it a little bit for me. Gives me some feel. Okay, little things here and there. All right, now let me do some of those things I was thinking of with the green and the yellow. Let me just get some yellow in there first. I want to brighten some of these leaves here on the edge of this tree, on the edge of all these trees. Give them some bright spots. Top and bottom. Top and bottom, little bright spots. little bit of that green into that yellow. Just a hint of it. Okay, let me take a little brush and add some little points of white and yellow. Just these little areas where the sun is glistening off of individual leaves to kind of give it that feeling of it's a bright day. It's a bright and sunny day. Even if it is winter, it's still a bright, sunny winter day. Okay, I guess that looks enough like what I want it to look like. I still have nothing in the foreground yet, so I want to make sure I get that in there. I'm going to continue with the kind of the mid-ground here with some of this yellow ochre. Just kind of making a borderline right there for where the grass meets the sidewalk. Make it a little bit off to the edge there. And I'll do the same thing. I'll use some that yellow and that white and create some white spots on the foreground here too. And then we'll get some dirty water. Just get that pathway a little bit less than bright white. Just some dirty. Yeah, that's good. We're getting there. Starting to look the way I hope it would look. Right now there is a lamp post right here. And just let me think how I want to do this. You know what? Let me put the bench in first. I'm going to let it dry and I'll be right back. Alright now. Alright, I think it's dry now. Okay. It buckles a lot because it's just paper. Alright, let me take a real small brush now and try to make that bench. And then after the bench, we can put the guy in the bench, right? So let's just make this. Oh, and don't forget the bicycle. The bicycle is important. So where do I want all this? I think I want it right here. I want it like right, almost in the middle here. So we'll put the top of the bench up here. We'll go all the way down to the ground here. There's the first part of our bench. It doesn't have to look exactly like the bench in the photograph, but it's got to be very believable as a bench. Or as I like to call the bench, an old man's friend. Yeah. Alright, let's put the bottom of the bench. Bring it across. That looks like a good bottom of the bench. And then the other side of the bench. Alright, let's put the top. The top rung of the bench. Make that nice and stark. Stark dark. There we go. Yeah, what I want to do is I want to put some vertical lines and horizontal lines on this bench. There's a few more vertical ones. I was going to do them in halves so that way they look equally spaced out. equally spaced out. I can hear Robin coughing. She's still not over her cold. I'm still dealing with mine too. No problem though. Don't need to drag my issues onto the video, right? Don't worry, you can't catch it through the video. There's one. I don't know how many of these I'm going to do. I just keep doing them until it looks like it's good. Get a little bit wetter. Maybe if I can squeeze in another between these ones, you think? Let's squeeze them in there. So are you ready for the Christmas season to be officially over? I think it officially ends on New Year's Eve. No, Robin likes to wait a little bit longer. After New Year's, she likes to keep her Christmas decorations up. Another, I can't remember if it's 12 days after Christmas or 5 days after New Year's, or is that the same thing? I guess that's the same thing, isn't it? It's something like that. There's our bench. It probably has a middle support in here too somewhere. All right, and I want to make a little hint of an arm right here, just like we're looking at it as sort of an angle. I guess. That was one over here. Okay. Now, of course, we need to put a bicycle there. Let's see. Is there one wheel? And the other wheel. You can see it through the bench, of course. There's the bicycle. Now let's put the man in the bench. The man who owns the bicycle. We'll get his shoulders in there first. And he's wearing a hoodie, so shouldn't be that hard to make a hoodie. There is a man sitting with a hoodie. Got his feet over here. And his body, of course. Of course, shadows have to be on the ground. Get some of these dark tones to represent the shadows. And now right here, not sure what I want to do right now. Not sure. I think I want to make some of the background areas darker. I think the gray should be darker. Yeah, I think this foreground needs to be darker. And I think those trees in the background need to be darker. Maybe there's some more people back here too. Maybe that would be helpful. Yeah, this person isn't alone. There's other things going on in this city, in this cityscape. Let's get a small brush and get some white areas on here. Let me get a real tiny brush. I have a little brush I like to use for tiny little things. Where did you go, tiny brush? I don't see my tiny brush. Oh well. This one will do, I guess. Let's get some white on this guy's hair. A little bit of glimmer coming off of this one. A little bit of glimmer on his bicycle tire. And on his handlebars. And on the seat of his bicycle. I'm not sure if I want to add something here. here. I'm afraid it'll divide the picture in a way that I don't really want. I could put a little maybe a little bit more depth over here. Maybe that's what it really needs. A little bit more depth. These people need to be a little bit darker. These are people in the distance. Just little silhouettes of people. They're standing under this tree. And maybe that tree needs a little bit more depth to it. In fact, all these trees probably could use a little bit more. So then there's a shadow across the way there. Sometimes my little trick, if there's a trick, is to add vertical lines when there's no real explanation as what they are. So I'm going to try to do some vertical things here. Not sure what they are. Maybe they're lampposts or maybe there's even some grass growing here. Yeah, it's a little trick I do. I put some vertical lines sometimes and it really brings a painting together. Maybe there's something else over here that's undefined. There's something undefined over there. Yeah, maybe some of the shadows on the sidewalk are not all connected to the same thing. They're also undefined as to where they're coming from. Okay, I think I'm done. That's going to be my day 14. It was from memory from the other day because I didn't get out yesterday. But anyway, there it is. A little bit hopefully you saw that whole thing. But anyway, there it is. Day 14. Downtown park bench. Alright, talk to you later.